guys, guess what? Explorations with the Boys is celebrating our 6-month anniversary today. It's been 6 months of sharing real stories. It's been 6 months of inspiring lives. It's been 6 months of strategic planning for thought-provoking interview sessions with impact leaders. My name is Daniela Rotimi.
And there is Sherma Daniel. Yeah, so to mark this milestone, we'll be doing something different, something immense, and something very unique. With us, we have 6 amazing individuals who are going to share real stories with us. Here with me is
Blind Allowing Success, CEO of Blind Design.
My name is Adbola Oluwadubisho. I'm a renewable energy engineer and the founder of EX Power Team.
My name is Precious Okaluwini Soma, and I'm a social media strategist. Basically, I help people manage their pages and give them a vibrant presence online.
I'm Jeremiah Agoiti, this professional and the founder of Redefining.
I'm Olani Marvelous, CEO of Marvelous Customer, where we sell quality, premium, stone cream of well-processed customer.
All right, my name is Akitunde Abraham. I'm a storyteller for men through Babbing. I'm a content creator, a content writer. I strongly believe that it's a defining moment in history where we can bring the sun up to the
all right, thank you so much. So, right, let's begin the conversation with our master. So, starting with my question, it's going to be like a question interactive with no question. So, yeah, I'm starting with Jerry Olabim. I'm starting with Jerry before you. Yes, so from your bio, so that you made a post from engineering to music. If I'm right, it was just from engineering to music. What are I'm just starting to that you have to go to that from before like getting from the music or in the music industry?
All right, so just to give a bit of perspective, I switched departments. I was doing 500 level, material science and engineering, when I took the decision to change my course of study to music. And it's a whole lot, but I would say that firstly, of course, it started between my decisions. There were a lot of oppositions, from parents. I can imagine if I'm a father and I have a child that being drive in science class, throughout school, get to that level and they say they want to change and do something else. It's not going to be difficult. Not going to be easy for me. So I had that challenge, but it all came down to what I wanted to do and the situation I found myself at that point. Engineering was I did not have issues with foundational, chemistry, physics, right from secondary school. I was one of the best. But coming to OAU, so a different thing entirely. And along the line, I really had bad times in engineering. And due to my inclination, my faith, I had to consult God about it. I feel that I sought advice from the person, and I made that decision to change to music. It was not easy. It was a step of faith because, and at the time I started as a music student, my hip portal, as you call it, did not change until 10th week. So I was attending classes with faith, believing that it was going to change. In fact, let me tell you this very interesting experience that happened. There was a day, I think the day of matriculation for that year, 2018. I just decided to go and check the board. And I saw that my name was among those that the change of course was not successful. And if you leave from a department and you are not accepted, you are no longer a student. So I was at the verge of losing my studentship. So I had to quickly run, I had to go to my department, get the results, and I went there and I paid my school fees in 12th week. Almost the end of the lesson, I paid my school fees. So all those people that I kept attending classes in faith that I was going to become a student. But as God it worked out, and at the end, everybody who at some point not really discouraged me, but they were concerned because of the years of investment in play. They came back to let me know that I made the right choice. So I think the moral of everything that happened was that it all starts and ends with your decision and how passionate I was about that decision.
All right, so if I should ask, how has that decision shaped your becoming, your current state?
A lot. There's something I've not said at all. When I was in tech, I failed. I had A's lost 3 times, and it was chemistry practical. I think it's your 107 or 107, then second semester, I think CS program. Then I failed. I had F's. Can you guess how many F's I had? I had 14. Yeah, I had 14. My CPP was like 1 point something. Yeah, but you wouldn't know if you saw me then, because I was always happy and grateful. No, I didn't know what I was going through. But that decision I made changed a lot of things. I discovered purpose. I discovered to know more about myself. I discovered to know more about what God would have me to do. And I'm happy that I didn't come to where you at the beginning to study music, because if I did not go, sometimes it's not just about what the experience, it's about the journey into the experience. So I would have come to study music at the beginning. It would have just gone like normal. But the journey that got to me through to that experience was what brought out the real, dimension of self-discovery for me. And that's what I'm grateful for. And it has affected me, in every area of my life. And I think that's what I mean.
Thank you so much for that. All right, the next question, I'll be asking Precious. You're a law student, right? Yeah, so you are big on social media because while you were introducing yourself, you said you helped brands on social media. So how have you juggled both together? And you being a law student, not like most people think it's all about going to courts, talking, cases and all of that, but then you match social media with it. So how do you balance both together?
Okay, are you talking about like how I balance like my time management, how I balance being in law student? Okay, so I have both. I'm just hoping I don't get any. Okay, thank you so much. So I think it's one question I get often because a lot of people actually want to be more, they want to do things, they want to explore different interests. But being a student at times comes with this limiting factor because you have classes to attend, you have assignments, you have tests, you have exams. So first of all, I think me personally, talking about my own personal strategy, I've always had a strong point behind my social media. I've been creating content since I was like, maybe since I was a child, maybe since I was, I'm trying to remember my age, maybe 12, 13, I've always been I've always been creating career, I've always been creating videos. So I've always had this very unusual desire to share something. I've always had this fire within me. I just felt like I wanted to share something. I wanted to impact the world. I wanted to inspire people. So to me, that has always been my why. So even when I didn't have a phone, right before I gained admission into the, I was a secondary school student. I didn't have a phone. I didn't have the resources, but I would still push myself. I would use my mom's phone. I would take my leave. So basically, that was when there is a lead, there is a lead. It's actually very true because when you have a strong why, when you have a strong belief, you're going to find a way to do that thing. You're going to find a way to make that thing. And another thing is effective time management. I really believe that everybody has the time to do what they want to do. We're all given equal time. I feel like time, I don't even feel like it's a fact that time is actually one asset that has been made available to everybody, notwithstanding their race, notwithstanding their age, notwithstanding your status. Everybody has the same amount of time, which is 24 hours. And in that 24 hours, you would always find 1 to 2 hours to devote to something. So, for example, a lot of people say, I'm focusing on these classes, but there is always 1 to 2 hours in between that you can use time to build something big. Many of us scroll for long hours. Even there was a time I actually sat down to assess my scroll time, and I found that I scroll a lot. Do you understand? And I feel like that's the reality for many young people. We actually spend so much time on our phone. So the amount of time we spend on our phone, we can definitely devote some of those hours into building something with our online career and stuff like that. And lastly, very lastly, as somebody who is very big on maintaining excellence, both as a law student and both as a creative, I would say it's very, very important to know when to step down your one and know when to focus. When I'm writing exams, you won't find me on Facebook or TikTok. I mean, I recently, I don't even have to announce that I'm taking a break. I will just delete my social media platforms. I have exams and I'm focused on my exams. You understand? I am usually very intentional on how I manage clients during that time. I'm usually like, most of my clients know when I'm writing exams and they even respect it. They know, okay, I will not be available as much as I used to be. So I respect my books a lot. When I'm writing tests, I won't be posting 5 times a day on Facebook. I have tests to focus on. I have my notes to focus on. So it's also very important that you know when to slow down on one particular aspect of your life and when to give it more attention. And there are also times like you can slow down your attendance to focus on your online career. Like things haven't gotten that hectic, whether you're consuming, put all your energy, post 5 times a day, you can, post 6 times a day, post 7 times, you have the energy. But test period, exam period, slow down. And if slowing down means eating your house. Thank you so much.
One thing I do is effective time management. Yeah. Whatever field you are, you need to know how to manage your time. Thank you for that.
All right. For that section, for that function of question, I'm not sure I'm going to ask this girl. The CEO of what? That is
Yes. Oh.
ES Farm. All right, so my question to you is, as someone working in the industry that is quite related with older professionals, how do you balance being young and rising in the industry, the engineering industry, right?
Yeah.
The engineering industry? How do you navigate working alongside the older professionals while still like growing, rising? How do you navigate it?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. What I would just start with is that me myself sometimes I'm sure whatever I see just is God's family. The irrespective of the things we are, there's this God part of them. We do it to know it's in the end of the gap. And so that's what I see playing out as well. Because the person that trained me happens to be my area person. He's a foreign certified engineer. At times when I come to him, I want to graduate. He himself is somebody that looks good. He does not question. At times, so when I give birthday last week, he wrote a lot of comments and reached out. So what I can say is that it has not been easy. You need somebody who did not to be at your party and you feel and you are trying to discuss things out. So number one thing, wisdom of the focus about it. You won't say God is giving from leverage or you are at a particular stage and you are grinding. You are not given respect to do respect to teach. So I respect you very lot. I say and God, I'm even very late. You're already coming out of the budget. It's not the same man. So deal with them with wisdom. I don't like they'll pick interest in you. Because most of them they want to be what you are at their young stage. But due to the fact that they are not exposed to that kind of opportunity and they don't have that kind of privilege. So seeing young people coming to the field, give them sort of encouragement that yes, people can do this. Once you give with them with wisdom and you give respect to them, they will do things that can call it.
All right, yeah. So I think there's something I think from that too. Why dealing with the domination whereby we have older professionals, we have to deal with them with respect, wisdom. All right, thank you so much for that.
So my next question is to the people or people in marriage and so on. You've turned a traditional local product into something innovative and aspirational. I mean, there are most people feel that the dairy is local bounce food, home-bound food. But then, what mindset shifts help you to see dairy more than just dairy?
Thank you so much for that. When I started, I didn't start seeing dairy. Just when I started, we went to going to business, I went to the city, and the Gary came on board. And I started selling Gary. But the question I asked myself is, when people ask me, what should I buy a product? What should I say? I'm like, okay, what can make me different from them? What can make me become different from maybe my competitor? Of course, can easily walk up to the market, get Gary, and Gary is a common and popular thing they can get especially anywhere. So I was like, okay, how can I make my products different? So I started making research. I started, okay, what's it about Gary? I started making research, okay, the benefit, the advantage. Oh, I started seeing new lights into it. So I was like, wow, you get if I can educate people, you get on the advantage on why you should buy my product, then that's enough reason for them to buy my product. You get it's enough reason for them to okay, I want to buy it. Why? Because you know they're not just buying it. They know that buying it adds something to them. It's beneficial to their health. You get they know about the benefits, they know about a lot of things around. So, I will not say I started seeing it, maybe, but I started seeing it in that light, but as time goes on, I saw it different light. What people are saying. There can be popular food for years.
Thank you so much.
Very fun.
I buy your work.
Thank you so much. All right, moving on to yeah. I don't want to put the Barbie. I don't want to call it Barbie. Global Baba. All right. Balancing Baba's chair and the project. One moment you're tuning here, another moment you're speaking into your main line. Because I think I've gone through your videos and I see that like you do kind of motivational stuff. Younger generation, younger version of yourself. Okay. One moment you're tuning here, another moment you're speaking to young men. How do you shift between both without losing intensity?
All right. I strongly believe that everyone should practice themselves to be on their skill. I am not my feedback. I'm not an object. There is something beyond handing the feedback. And I believe strongly that anyone with purpose living would debar every limitation. A lot of people have strangled their potential because they see themselves as their skills. So many people have wasted time, wasted resources by just getting stuck to their skill. So I believe there is more to me, and I'm going to explore every part of me. And that's the way I've been able to balance enlightening the next generation, empowering boys majorly, because it's a flawed system. We begin to avoid is empowering them, we're speaking to them. So I took that responsibility, and every boy, every man wants a good record. So that's a debate for me.
I even like the fact that you focus more on the boy because my generation, like, focus is more on the female gender than the male gender. Like, coming from the male gender aspect is a big one. Thank you.
Alright, the fashion designer is here. They're a fashion designer and also a medical student. So have you ever felt torn between societal expectations of what a serious medical student, I know you're a serious of what a serious man should look like and your passion for creativity, for creating BBS, eye-catching looks? So have you ever felt like torn between them?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. It's a lot being a medical student and a fashion designer. A lot goes on like behind the scenes and like what you see on social media and all of that. But okay, for me, one thing I would say, like Precious mentioned, like my academics is actually very key. Like it's a key factor from like I must do well. Like I mean, as a Christian, I mean they are called to be excellent, like in every like aspect of our life. So like excellence should be in every aspect, not just okay, if you are doing business, that means you must God like you must be able to like balance it that okay, you're excellent in business, you're excellent in this. So like a lot of times well, but for example, let me give you an example. Like in the class that I'm in currently, like it's way more demanding than the classes that previous classes. My part 3 was I don't know if it was comfortable, but like it was easier, like way in part 2. Part 2 we were kind of special in college, so it was not very easy. And in part 2 I didn't even start a business because I wanted to like know my foundation, like how strong I was in like academics. And when I saw okay, this was my performance, I'm like okay, we can now bring in business aspect. So now moving into this new class that I am like currently in, it has not been easy. I mean, I had to like move to a mentor student because where everybody is like a mentor student, and
you have to be, oh, this person's reading, this person has been reading the common for like 8 hours. God, I beg, I'm so close. But then I feel like we have different goals. As much as like there are people in medical school that okay, they just do books. But I know that okay, I don't want to just be a doctor, I want to like be more. So you have to like know that you must be wise. You're not like every other student. So you must know, okay, try like to mention time management, you know, oh, this person is doing this person, but me or I'm different. And I feel like there's everybody, even in medical school, everybody has what takes their time. Like some people, like normal students, some people just like watch movies for like hours and they read their books. But like they're not doing anything. They're probably not very active in church and they just do other things. So people are active in sport and their medical sense. Like in fact, a lot of people in our medical school, yes, they are like into a lot of other stuff. So just know that okay, even if I'm doing this, it should not affect this aspect. So yes, like she mentioned, there are times that you have to be wise. You have to put down some stuff and put down this. I know when to like balance. Like there's really no balance in the real sense because there are times of academic what's the English? Like serious, like everywhere is like maybe apart from even exam because in medical school you have to read every day. So I have to put that in my mind that okay, even though I have to I have to read every day. Though sometimes it's not very easy to read every day. Especially when you have like deadlines to meet. But you know that okay, this is your goal. Actually, this is your goal. So you must actually strive to actually read. And also one thing I also mentioned is having like a solid relationship with like friends, having a good solid backup. My friends, they are very serious people, so I mean, I had to be serious. Like we work with like-minded people, and there are people too that are doing other things in medical school and they are acing it. So I mean, why not why not work with those people or learn from those people? Sorry, last thing. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Also, learn from like seniors. I can't count the number of times that like I had to reach out to seniors that were doing so well in the academics and like in medical school and they were still doing their business like acing it. So I have to like reach out to them, okay, this is this and a lot of them are saying there's no balance. Just know when to stop some and when to like start reading. But the thing is to constantly keep reading. Don't just leave. Like I mean, currently I cannot be clueless about like some things if I go for a discussion. But okay, sorry to mention this, but I feel like our capabilities are different. So I read fast, so I cannot really compare myself with someone that does not really read like as fast as I would. So you need to know your capability. Actually, that's let me just stop there, please. I'm sorry.
It's a lot of nice no problem. Thank you. Let's see where that's going. All right, back to Jeremy for you, baby. What sounds fulfilling? Corporate sounds fulfilling, but it's not always as easy as people see the outside and hear this person is making progress. This person is making progress. How do you handle the weight of leading others while figuring things out for yourself?
Okay. So when you talk about leadership is inside out. And you can't, every one of us have the potential to become a leader. And leadership is not something you do. It's something you become. For instance, if I post a link on my status, leadership is the ability to influence people. You can complete that definition by saying to influence people to make a predefined decision or for a predefined goal. So for instance, if I want to eat out, maybe let me say chicken republic, and I'm full, and I say, and we are both hungry, and I say, so let's go to chicken republic. I heard that they are fitness, yes. And you follow me. I've influenced you. So I've led you. But leadership, the reason why there are issues is because we see it as a very big thing. So So people's destinies are made and marred by leadership. Not because they listen to social media, but because a friend can be in your life. For instance, let's assume I'm a student and I say I need a friend that will make me serious. And I get a roommate. And I wake up by 12 a.m. I see him reading. I go to his toilet, I come back. I sleep, I wake up by 5, I see him reading. I say maybe because he just came in, so he's trying to. But the next 1 week, I'm always waking up, seeing him reading. A day will come. I'll tell you that when you wake up, make it. Do you understand? So without saying a word, he has led me to become more diligent. So, but you cannot do that if you do not first engage self-leadership. And self-leadership cannot happen if you do not discover your purpose. That's what I'm doing. My tomorrow said there are 5 questions everybody should answer. Who are you? Where are you from? What can you do? You understand? Where are you going? What do you do and why are you here? And I added the last one. I said, what are you leaving behind? Because it's enough for you to know who you are, where you are going, what you can do. But if you go, legacy is not what you do, it's what you leave behind after you have gone. So the reason why people worship Jesus is not because he's alive, he didn't try and he's alive, but he has died physically, but he's not alive. Because of what he did, why he was alive, that's why. So and it's not a function of time. It's not a function of time. I like to see just an example. 3.5 years, and the world will never stop benefiting from that value. And nobody else can provide that same value. The first thing to do, if you want to become a leader, for me as a person, the moment I discovered my purpose and I'm developing myself, either you like it or not, you need to meet people that are around you. So some people are looking to, I want you to follow me on social media. Yes, your friend that is with you cannot make the right decision and then their life. So before you meet people that you don't know, that you can't see, let the people around you experience leadership. What we are doing here is leadership. I've learned from her, I've learned from everybody. So when I want to take a decision next time, I remember that somebody said something. Either she knows or she does not know, she has said it. So I think the summary of it is, we cannot talk about leadership without purpose discovery. Every great leader that has ever lived and will ever live will first discover their purpose. And apart from that, one bonus, let me say bonus I'll get is that every leader is a great communicator. Every leader should be a great communicator. Something happened in Nigeria. I mean, I don't feel that government, but let me say, something happened in Nigeria. Someone came in as the president, and the first day, he said, Dr. Professor, he said, he's gone. There are other ways you could have said it that will not cause chaos to the country. So sometimes it's not about what you lead or how you lead, it's about how you communicate your ideas. So if I want to tell you sit down, and I say, look at how you are sitting, as old as you are. You might adjust, but you think about that as a bad person. You get, but if I say it in a way that I don't know you are sitting, okay, just adjust so that you can. You will not even know I'm talking now. You understand? So leadership and purpose discovery growth and
Thank you so much for that. So once I think effective communication as a leader, and you don't have to like be out to date. Like your decision, whatever you can influence others, so can lead others. All right, thank you so much for that insightful conversation. Moving on.
Precious, you advocate for confidence and clarity. Even in your posts, you talk about clarity. So, but have you ever experienced a moment where your confidence failed you? And how did you bounce back?
Okay, thank you so much. I mean, that's actually a very thoughtful question. I say something like consistently. I say confidence is not a destination. Confidence is a journey. We can never actually get to the point where we become so confident that we don't have like doubts or we don't sometimes feel. Do you understand? So we're always going to have those doubtful moments, no matter the amount of results we have even achieved in our industry. So confidence is not a destination. Like, so you die, you're building your confidence. You're building into knowledge, you're building your confidence basically. So talking about me personally, I've had different moments of doubt. And I would say I've had different moments Where my confidence fails me, I'm trying to like think if I can pinpoint a particular experience. And although it's quite difficult to like pinpoint a particular experience. But okay, I think I can pinpoint an experience. Right. So when I was still seeking for admission into OEU, I still remember the first jam right. So now when I wrote that jam, I may not have been all that confident, but I knew I tried my best to be confident to write my exams because I already knew that, oh, if I write this exam with fear, I would not like my results. So I tried my best to be confident and I prayed. And I'm like, God, please help me, take charge of my heart. I tried my best to be confident in the exam hall. And then I didn't remember when I saw my exam results, it was way below my expectations. Like I had, I think about 256 kids. And as somebody who wants to enter, to study law in OE, I was expecting 300. Basically, I was like, okay, I'm expecting 300. So I would say my confidence really filled me again because when I saw my results, I just started crying. Like, how am I with 256 on 256 when I know what I planned for? And it was like, oh, maybe he didn't prepare enough, maybe he didn't read enough, maybe he didn't. So I would say my confidence kind of filled me at that moment. But now the question should be, when your confidence fails you, like, where do you fall back to? How do you bounce back? Like how do you bounce back? And the answer to that question is your source. Like, your source of confidence determines how you bounce back. So who do you fall back to? I'll say two very important things I'll say. So number one, fall back to God. Most times people's confidence fail them because they do not have a solid source. And it is very, very dangerous to tie your confidence to things that can be lost. What are things that can be lost? Appearance, beauty, your riches can be lost, wealth can be lost. I mean, I love money. We all love money. I don't know. Money is good, but tying your confidence to things that are like superficial, like okay, appearance, money, intelligence even, can be very, very dangerous because there could be moments where those things will fail you. You could lose money. Something could happen. You could have an opportunity. Like anyone could have an accident. You could lose your appearance. Anything could happen. So if your entire confidence is tied to those things, you will be in trouble when that confidence fails because it will be very hard to bounce back. But when you have a solid source, it's just like God. When you get your confidence, not necessarily from your action, but from understanding your creator, from understanding the person who created you. Most times I love to explain to people how that God is so big and He actually created you, like He thoughtfully created you. You are not just like a mistake, you are not just a passing thought. He intentionally curated you, like bones by bones, marrow by marrow. He intentionally breathed life into you. You understand? So the way I see myself, I don't just see myself as precious. I see myself as somebody who God intentionally created. And God is so big. God is bigger than all presidents. He's bigger than all governors. Like, it's literally so big. So if He could thoughtfully create me like this, then I must be so big as well. I mean, I have created the image of someone as big as God, then I mean, I'm so big too. So no matter what happens in the future, I'm falling back to that person who created me, who is God. So I will always say is have a very good source of confidence. And please do not let your confidence in things that can be easily lost. Tie it to God. God cannot be lost. Then another thing, having mentors, having friends, having a good network, having people who can help you, having people who can help you. She mentioned it, she mentioned having people, and I totally forgot that. She mentioned asking seniors, going to seniors, asking questions. For my jam, I'm going to round of because I feel like I'm helping it down. For my jam, when I saw my result, okay, I almost felt like it was the end of the world. To me, admission was no longer possible. How will I gain how do I gain admission with 256 law? Like, it was always like, is this possible? But now I had like siblings who had tried to gain their admission, and because of that, they had gained experience. I had teachers who cared. So we all sat down. Okay, what can we do? Okay, how do we calculate the argument? Okay, what do we do? How can we divide this course? How can we? Let's see. Do you still stand the chance? Don't give up here. And so I remember the motivation my teacher gave me. Like, she told me, Precious, what was your aim? And I was like, okay, I was aiming for 300. She said that was your mistake. You're supposed to aim for 350, not 300. I kept saying, how was I supposed to aim for 350? But that particular lesson she taught me, she said, when you aim for the skies, you fall among the stars. But when you aim for the stars, you fall on the floor. So when she taught me that lesson, I held it and I went to cancel all my other games. So back then I was aiming for like 30 over 40 in my GCIN. And I went to aim for 35 over 40 in my GCIN. I cancelled all my O levels. I'm like, okay, so I was aiming for B's or 40s. A in some courses. I can't say everything. I read A, okay. I'm aiming for A in everything. I'm aiming for 35 A, And I read crazy. Oh my God. I worked crazy by grace of God. But now I was no longer working as somebody who wanted to achieve 30 over 40. I was working as someone who wanted to achieve 35 over 40. And at the end of everything, my results came out. I was able to get admission, and I was able to get to the course I intended to study. So I think it was just a very, really interesting moment for me because I already lost hope. If I didn't have teachers, if I didn't have siblings, if I didn't have people who I fall back to, who I could ask questions, I would have let that score go to waste. And that's why I would always say, have people. When your confidence fails, please reach out, have mentors, your church, your siblings. I mean, just have teachers, just have people you can reach out to. So thank you so much.
Sorry for you. Thank you so much. I love the fact that you say when you aim for the sky, you fall back to the stars. Yeah. And when you aim for the stars, you fall back. So in all we do is always aim for the sky. Yeah, not for the stars. And also have a solid self. God. Hold God tightly. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, of course.
Hi, my brother Israel. For young, he's 4. Okay. For
Yes,
young,
Mama.
good. He is 4. I'm sorry for that. For a young builder or entrepreneur struggling to balance learning, growth, and action, what are your honest advice to the young man?
Thank you very much. So, some of the answers to the question that I've been saying. Number one is knowing yourself, knowing the demand of what you are going to do, and effective time management. So, when I was in the Polytechnic before coming in, when I got here, I was someone that when I was in the Polytechnic, I get to do that mistake. But I'm getting in. What I did for a whole 2 years in food, the lecturer finished it in 2 class. After that, I know that yes, I'm here for something different. So I understand the demand of the world. I know what is key. I'm going to put my skill aside. Let me face what I came here. Let me have foundation first. At least let me have something to stand on. So along the line, we went back for COVID break and the like. So I'm this kind of person. I'm the last one. But people used to wonder that you don't behave like last one. There's this thing in me that you don't always satisfy. COVID came and lockdown was lifted. Everybody's doing that today. And here is me. It's just like I can't continue saying that thing. So I have privileges to have various engineers and people. So I just wasted one of them. Yes, I can be bring out to students. No problem. So I went back to my days where I'm not even experienced because there are people with different kind of personalities. That's story for you. So along the line, I was learning from them. Just knowing the fact that once I get back to school, I want to be able to do any other thing. So understand the demand of what you are going into and properly planning yourself and effective time management. Understand the workload if you are a student of your course. So for somebody in engineering now, let the electrical sites, you cannot play. There's no room for playing because your courses from A to Z are demanding to the whole. So understand what you are going to, plan yourself, have a certain time and have a structure. There will be quality, strength and the lines, public quality, like Nigeria that we are. There is one thing, public quality. So those are times we have to utilize. But we can't utilize those breaks and those times if there's no proper plan. Understanding your plan and schedule. So that's what I would say. Plan yourself. Manage your avoid distraction. Anything called distraction will not make you to achieve your goal. Distraction is just to steer you away from your goal. You avoid distraction. Be growth-minded, be purpose-minded. Just have the Bible said if you are sorry for using Bible verse. If your eyes can't be seen, your body will be full of light. Just have that same life. So what's what you want to achieve. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Fema group. Recently hosted Months of Spespirations, right? And trust me, it was a very beautiful campaign. So I was part of it, right? And I love what it was. So, what inspired this, and how do you plan to continue driving the expectation and youth empowerment?
Okay. Actually, what inspired me? Actually, when I was setting out my business goals, like at the beginning of the year, I didn't plan it. But I planned to maybe like a Gary angle. This will come, drink Gary, learn, that was the goal. But then goals, I was like, I can be more, like I can make it better, right? I can make it better in the sense that why don't I bring in more people who are professionals in this field, as a means of educating students, you get me? Because one thing I preach is, I preach education. I mean, education of what I mean, educating people about educating people on the benefit of whatever they are consuming, knowing, at least know, if you want to consume a particular thing, you need to know the advantage, you need to know something about it. You get what I'm saying? To know, okay, this how much I can consume this how much I can, you can stop and go. So coming back to that, I was like, okay, why don't I make it better? And looking at the lapses around, a lot of students, like I know some people that they don't really eat well. You get all because we have to read, I have to do this, I have to do that. They don't focus on their health. You get before you know it, you already see them, they're falling sick, times and times before. I was like, this relax. Why don't we make this bigger? By bringing people who are professionals to educate students, we get okay on how they can live healthy. Even with your low budget, they are low budget, as students, you get what I'm saying? They are not working. Most of us are not. You get how can they, learn, how can they, and a lot. So that's why it all started, and before you know it, took that place there, at first it was looking like it's not really happening. Because I was scared at first that I'm not doing this thing. I've just seen what can I do first. One thing I've come to learn is that nothing is impossible as much as a sense of mind. Nothing is impossible. Like I've already got that minded that I can, and this kind of confidence that maybe over time, as a business owner, I've learned to start speaking with people and then how I can converse with people who would see. And a lot, I was like, nothing is impossible. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't speak to anybody. I was telling my friend one of those times that there's nobody I can speak to. Over time I've learned that, okay, be confident at what you do. If you don't believe in what you're doing, you can only bring people to believe in what you're doing when you so like do I believe in it? I can't do it. Then why don't I bring people into believing in it? So I can say that word I got the glory. It's smart, think sharp, became word. That was that. That's the good part. We talked about
What are your plans to continue driving the education? Because you say you love inflicting your buyers on budgets.
I'll say that, what are my plans? So actually, after giving, a lot of people were still telling me that, no, let's stop there, let's do 2.0, and the like. Actually, the goal is to make it bigger, actually. You get, because we are trying to, close that lapse. Okay, how can we, like, it's not about educating people. Like, I'm not an health professional. A lot of people ask me, what's the department? Like I've heard that a lot. People used to think, why would need a mind? What the need a mind to account? Why don't you study food science and technology, all those binary food sciences and like, because the way I preach what I believe in, I mean, you get what I'm saying? People are always very happy. So our goal is not just to stop there, like to make it bigger. You get, because when people get empowered, that's a way of helping them. You get, to make it bigger, and as time goes on, even in our brand, bringing more people into the market. Because one thing I've come to understand is we have few people that are into this market. I mean, cassava generally. Many people have not tapped into the wealth of cassava. So bringing more people to see the light, you get to see that, oh, this is a profitable venture. You can come in, and as a result of your entrance, you create employment for many. The goal is to create employment for people and educate.
I love your vision. If there's one thing I pick from what you said, it's just the start. It might feel like it's so impossible, but then there is nothing impossible in this world. Right? So thank you so much.
Okay, God's one. All right. What does it look like in this 21st century? What does it really look like to be a God's man, like to be a man of faith? I mean, this is a Christian center, Christian-based company. I know, outside, bringing in that person very difficult. How do you balance? Like, what does it look like to be a 21st century man of faith, especially in a time of distraction and false standards screams loud, even more than the real standard?
All right. Basically, I will start with why I started out in the gaming space. I never wanted to be a barber. I've always been an academia. I mean, schooled on several scholarship opportunities and getting to campus. But because of the delay I had, I learned the skill. And on the journey of serving other people, I discovered myself. Yeah, that's the highlight of it for me. And I'm embracing faith in a world that challenges system. I can consider here a chariot as the pride of the world. But when you ride on faith, you are able to challenge systems. Like Elijah rather, he rode on it. He ran by his foot, and yet he outran the chariot of Ahab. So when you're a man of faith, you have insight into systems. You know what is in need, and you can discern season. In this season that we are, a lot of people they don't know the importance of grooming. Grooming is very therapeutic. I have a lot of points when I back for them, they sleep off. Yeah, when you know the need for several things, and I've been able to see the need to empower people with this skill, especially intellectual. Many people despise barbing, like it's just for a dropout. It's for somebody who is in the neighborhood. I mean, don't. However, when you come basic into extraordinary, people want to hear you. People want to be part of the narrative. So I had adopted the skill and I channeled my faith into it, and that has stood out over the time. So what we are doing now is building young people. So I built the brand, the Baba Outfit, as a result of my interaction with this. And here we are supplying products, barbing products, empowering young people and creating community for them. So faith has really helped me. I mean, it has really served as an edge. And that's why I said the other time that I am beyond the skill. I am beyond the papers. A lot of barbers are just in salon. I mean, just how many barbers go out for events? How many barbers do people want to listen to? They just believe that they should be behind the chair. And life doesn't work that way. In this world that we are, you must explore every aspect of your life. You must ensure that you give yourself to that feeling. It's dangerous to be only skilled. It's very dangerous. I mean, there are a lot of people that are just skilled and they are very good at the skill, but they lose sight of what is more to them. And that's they live in penury, let me put it that way. They live in not necessarily cash penury. I mean, they remain in that lack. Faith has been it. I mean, I must say. And that helped me to discern people as well. That helped me to discern my audience. I think I've said it all. Thank you.
We are in a Gen Z world, and I love the fact that you are presently running a Gen Z ladies series. So if you were to whisper a sentence to a Gen Z lady struggling with identity and validation, what would it be? And even modesty, because in this world we have, it's very much like, I don't want to work hard to stand for modesty. But what will you tell someone who really wants to stand for modesty or has a reputation?
So much for that question. Let's start from the identity part. So I believe that not just females, human beings generally,
our identity is in Christ. Like we can't, like, we were not created just like out of, we can't live outside of our creator. So I mean our identity is rooted in Christ. So if as a female, as a like, yes, as a female, as a gender lady, so if as a gender lady, you don't know your identity in Christ, there is no way you're going to like stand for modesty when you get to the top, or when you get to places that, oh, everybody is dressing you and, oh, let me just conform. But once you know your identity in Christ, you know that, oh, I'm a chosen generation, I am royalty, I cannot be. Like, once you know this is this, you can't. But of course, we need God's grace to help us, especially like when, like me personally, as a fashion designer, like in the business industry, I've faced a lot of, not like temptations, but like, so even aside knowing that, okay, yes, this is my identity in Christ, you still need like the grace of God to stand. That's the
All right, thank you so much. I hope what you just said will help every female out there struggling with identity, modesty, validation. All right, moving back to Jerry, what might about purpose or leadership do you think adults need, not necessarily adults, younger generation, what might of leadership do you think we need to unlearn? What might you think we need to unlearn in today's distracted world?
All right. The world we live in now is quite different from the world our parents lived. When there's something I call the first education we are exposed to as a person. The first, okay, let me say it before that. Every national problem is first, let's say, a regional problem, before that, a community problem, before that, a society problem, before that, a family problem, before that, an individual problem. So most of us, our parents, when we grew up, the first level of education we were exposed to was in our home. So when you wake up, you greet this way. When an adult is talking to you, you don't talk back. When you finish eating, you pack your plate. That's education, even though not formal. But the world we live in now, we are not only exposed to our family's education, there's social media. And now, in fact, I saw a picture, primary 6 children, they are signing out. They're writing. Now, it was not their parents that told them, they saw it. Now, and the way a child is educated is not by verbal communication, it's by sight. So if child grows up in a family that dad brings up the body, looks down and pray, it didn't come, the child lay down and say, oh, but it's learning. So I think what we need to unlearn as younger people is that we forget that we also, the more we criticize our parents, we will become parents one day. And the world in which our children live will be more complicated than the world we are living in now. So rather than also settle for, there are some basic tenets of life that cannot be compromised at any level. You can't compromise respect. You can't compromise honor. You can't compromise good level of communication. You can't compromise integrity. No matter how Shandar tries to put it, you can't compromise these things. Do you understand? So the fact that something sells on social media does not mean we should adopt it. So as either millennial or generation alpha or whatever generation we find ourselves, as much as we are trying to shift perspective from the kind of mindset our parents had, then once they say do something, you must do it, no question. But now when a child begins to question, they say it's not true. Now that might not be true, and that might be true depending on the context and the response, depending on how you ask the question. So we must also learn that those things that cannot be compromised, we must stand on them. And those are the things social media is trying to push away. Respect is going. I said, you might have seen the video that a 16-year-old boy bought the Benz, and his father told him to, like, he was trying to, like, how come? Go and return it. The friend told him that he should not mind the father. You understand? And that can say in social media, every young man is under pressure.
Yeah.
So that's why I got what guys do. Every young man is under pressure to blow. I want to buy a car, I want to ride the car because I'm seeing it on social media. At least in my own time, they were not WhatsApp because people that were important that way. At that time, fine, you need to work for your start to increase. You understand? So some of us that we keep our phone on the way, put it by the video, start network for us to start. Yes, you enter professional, you enter. But we need to let those things that we cannot compromise, we must stand our ground on them. And the ones that can be compromised, dressing. Now, when I say dressing, there's a part of dressing that can be compromised. It's a part that cannot be compromised. Purpose cannot be compromised because the purpose of dressing is to cover your nakedness. Anything that exposes your nakedness, you have already compromised the reason for dressing. That's why everything comes back to purpose. If you don't know the reason why you are putting on clothes, we feel more confident when some people feel more confident when I enter this place. If I wear a Nike shoe, if I wear a man, if I put on a Rolls Royce, people will feel more confident. And that's why those industries keep selling. Because they are riding on our lack of self-confidence and self-awareness. So I discovered that it's not clothes that matter, it's the person putting on the clothes. This clothes I'm wearing now can be cheap. If Jeff Bezos put it on now and they auction it millions, not because the clothes increased in quality, but because the person. So the thing is, I think where I will stop is we should develop ourselves to the point that you know the value, and wherever you enter, it's not a matter of what you put on or how you what you put on or who knows you, who does not know you. People know that when you open your mouth to speak and when you communicate and when you interact, they know that this person has value, and that's what eventually opened doors for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that.
So, Precious, you are the author of 5 books, right? And there is actually one that caught my attention. Right? So, what is one misconception that people have about success? Like most people believe that for you to be successful, you need to have money, you need to have fame, you need to have this. So, what is one misconception that you'd like to share with us?
Okay. I feel like there are lots of misconceptions, so I'm trying to figure out which one I'm going to talk about.
That is the one that is the end. Okay, so I would say one very big limiting mindset of belief and misconception that hold people back once they come to success is the lack of ability to dream. And because there is lack of ability to dream, there is also lack of ability to take actions. And then I'm going to explore this in 2 different ways. There are people who do not even dream. And I feel like that's one of the most dangerous things you can ever be as a human being. Because if you do not even see yourself in a particular level, if you don't see yourself in a particular picture, you cannot picture yourself in a certain place, then how exactly do you want to get there? A lot of people live their lives. They live their lives without caring so much about the future because they've been conditioned to believe that there is nothing that can change, especially because of what they've been exposed to. You mentioned something about different types of education there. Somebody that grew up in a rich home and somebody that grew up in a poor home, we don't have the same thoughts and imagination going on. Because the person who has grown up in a poor home already has certain limitations, like without anybody even teaching in those limitations. You already see barriers. So because of that, he's limited from dreaming people. And I think that's one thing that saddens me even. The fact that some people don't dream. I believe everybody has the capacity to dream. It does not matter what you race you're from. It does not matter how good you are. It does not matter who it matter how you are. Everybody has the capacity to dream. So we should all dream because that's like one of the fundamental steps to being successful. You have to see yourself being there. If you cannot see yourself being there, then you will hardly get there. Now, okay, so now the second thing, it's interconnected here. So now because people do not dream, they do not take action. But the interesting thing, there are also people who dream that also do not take action as well. Because they've seen a certain height and a certain level as unachievable. And it's quite understandable when
when you find more about their background, you understand why they think some things are unachievable. But a lot of people do not believe that their actions can actually get them to a certain place. And so because of that, they don't take actions. They do not take action. They keep on believing that people who are rich, people who have achieved certain things, people who are gotten to certain heights are lucky, or they were born in a rich background, they had parents, they had connections. And yes, they might have them, do you understand? Because I saw it post recently, somebody was like, yeah, thank you so much. I saw it recently, somebody was like, I don't even, like, okay, let's not talk about that post. Let's not talk about, I think, $40 new book, right? So a lot of people have been like, hey, what's there? I mean, you have always been rich. Please don't pressure yourself. You have always been rich. What does he want to say? But they feel like they do not understand that there are people who actually started from scratch. And although they might believe so, there are people who started from scratch. So because there is this limiting mindset about success, like, how can we even get there? They do not believe that their actions are capable of taking it. So because of that, they don't dream big. So I mean, I've been learning a lot from a lot of people today. Thank you so much. You mentioned something like you saw Barbie. Like everybody sees Barbie, and everybody is likely to look down on that. Like everybody's what's there? You understand? But it took something quite ordinary and tried to make it extraordinary because it could dream, and because you need to not just about dreaming, it's about taking action. So Gary is normal. Everybody sees Gary like, what's there, Gary? I'll go to the market, I'll buy Gary. But then she asks herself, what can be extraordinary about this Gary? She dreamt, like, I can do something bigger. And she didn't stop her dreaming, she took action. And that's where she's here today. Not just her, like, all of us, you saw like dresses. And you know that, okay, how can I do something? How can I be the brand? I don't just want to be, I don't just want to be the Mama Chukuma. That somebody will just want to say, hey, I want to be the brand. I want to be something bigger. And because you have the capacity to train, you have the drive to take action. So I will always say two misconceptions. Please dream unbelievably high. Oh God. When I talk about like where I aim for, like if I could logically explain where I aim for, you would call me crazy. You would say this game is not normal if I can logically explain because it's not logical. Dream logical. Dream unbelievably high. Dream like logic is not present. Like your limitations are not there. Then after dreaming, you must take actions. You must ask yourself, what can I do? What am I capable of doing? Johnny B, you always look at your hands because there is enough in your hands. No matter the level you are in, no matter the lack you have, no matter that lack, like no matter how much lack of resources you may have, there's always something with your hands that you can do to take certain actions that can keep you, even if it's just one step closer to your dream. So you can always take action. So during my take action, that's just my thanks. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah. Maybe don't can do it and don't forget to take action because thanks to that words. Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right. And for that video, I don't want to spend the right. All right. Many people admire success, but few see behind it. What personal and professional sacrifices have you had to make growth effort?
Yes, power. Let me say it again. Yes, power limited.
Yes, power.
Okay, so thank you very much for the opportunity. Yes, power to be a brand that believes in empowering business industry, which we never bring back. And also we are we are diversifying into the agricultural sector now. So the major challenge is, should I say this? So that the way you know about something, but we are diversifying also into the agricultural sector. I want to see the reason behind it so that somebody will know what it is. That's a security code for us. Thank you very much. So, and in the renewable energy world, we have three categories. People that don't believe it works, people that have bad experiences, and people that don't know about it. You may be shocked that I'm mentioning these three things. Last month, somebody reached out to me from Nigeria. The place is like Nigeria. The guy reached out to me for something in Nigeria. So he was mentioning that the landlord, imagine someone that has a house in Victoria Island, telling the man that they have to buy the cement that does not produce solar. Educated person, I'm not talking about electric. So the man was not telling that, was saying that I know someone, I have some team of young individuals that does this thing and work perfectly well. Because the man has a lot of farmers too. One of his farmers in the picture, so they are the one solar power, which is not no other source of power. So basically that's what we do. So let me move to the question that's very active now. So behind this thing, there are a lot of scars because I'm the kind of person that I said that I'm not so satisfied with just food. I have a lot of skill sets. I've done this, done that, fiber, work, a lot of things. But here you are, you want to build a brand that is not that stuff. Everything will just land and everything will just come together at once. You need to sponsor something, you need to invest in graphic design, do a lot of things. And the response is not forthcoming. Or the people will be leaving you outside. See you. From behind. See you. So the scar, I'm just saying that the scar is so real. And everybody here will witness what I'm trying to say. So the scar is so real. There's place of pain, place of sacrifice. You have your friends outside there. Even during 8 months, like 2022, I have a certification in test skills. Backend development with website design, Python, business Python. They are your mates collecting dollars and you. But all things boils down to purpose. So I'm doing this thing because God ordained me to everything like that. And the way my journey has been going, I know that truly God is involved. God is involved. So it's not about doing what others are doing. Don't follow the crowd. Follow what God has called you to do. For example, now my senior was jailed, so he asked me, just find the gun and said, no, this is what God is calling you to. Then he asked me, some of his mates that even have maybe like 3 or 2 kids now. And at the long run, even if they are not taking that step, I'm very sure he will not be in this conversation. So, people will come and just like, okay, this you want to do, you don't want to understand the limitation behind it and every other thing like that. So, but you just have to keep going. So, there are a lot of scars. But me personally, one thing, once people see that you are consistent, despite the ups and downs, they will believe in you. For example, now as I yesterday, I have somebody that volunteered to be a graphic designer for the brand. So, I just have to tell him that, see, come here, I don't have any payment you want to give. And you said, yes, willingly, happily. So people will believe in you. And also I have a partner, my colleague, my co-founder, which is my roommate. You're probably like, you can check it out, my roommate. So it's not the consistency. And it's not someone that is lazy, it's not very, it's a gene that very just put down with the technical aspect and technology aspect. So it believes in it, it's not the consistency. You came in part 2, you're still doing this part. And even if I tell them in Lagos, during 8 months later, this part they will come and join me to supervise some projects. So it's not that consistency again. We have to believe and we are growing together. So really respect of the scar, it's just for now. You will not have food to eat today, you will not die tomorrow. So with that joy, it's just a matter of time. For example, Dr. Gagebo was privileged to medicine this January. So he was even telling us that in his lifetime, if you don't think and drink Gary, because he has drank the Gary, but you also come and taste it. In the entire lifetime. So I was like, no, these are men that go through struggles. If you know his story, you understand what I'm talking about. So I just believe that if somebody like that would have said it before, definitely, limitation is just the function of the mindset. Not grateful. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Let me say the thing. Limitation is just a function of the mind. Thank you so much for that.
All right, Queen Margaret, what's one thing you wish more young entrepreneurs knew about becoming? especially in the age of fast results that people want results and social media pressure?
I would say people want, just like you said, people want to grow. That's something to be. You want to see that grown into like 500K when you are like you don't have to, because somebody is doing it to get, not somebody is. There's no need to go. No competition. Take the step at a time. Why you are there? I was living through there of not for actually, I was living with him and he said something that, you need to learn to take a pause sometimes. Focus on, okay, what exactly are you doing? Like, don't, okay, he said something that, when you get to the top, it's very difficult to make it. Even for you, while you are not yet free, for you to make your mistakes, you make it, you fall, you rise, you learn from it, and like, when you get to the top, there is this expectation. You get people are looking up to you. A lot of people this person is my role model. If you make mistake, people will not want to believe. People will not want to, give them to the fact that you are human. They will believe that, they'll think you are an angel, like you do it to you. So what I'm just trying to say is, embrace your journey. Don't rush it. Step at a time. But begin to because you have to be consistent, but it's not really consistent. Even me personally, there are many times I felt like, I'm done. But come on, if you stay at it for long, come on. One day, it can just be one thing. It can just be one thing. You get, like, you might not even know, it might even look so minute. It might not, those things you put in all your energy into the artistic, even of those there. It's good. You get what I'm saying? You can see that you don't see that nothing is coming or there. But that little thing you feel, just did it casually. Before you know it, it can announce you. You get, so what I'm just trying to say is, stay at it, embrace the journey, and take the step. Thank you so much.
Stay at it. I'm going to stay at it.
Alright.
So, studying literature, why being a brand strategy and a barber? It's not for you. No, sorry, sorry, sorry. Sorry to not for everything, but it's not. Okay. Yeah, it's not the same kinds. Yeah. What is one lesson from literature that has helped you shape me? Like, being a literature student, how has it helped me shape other things better? And being a brand strategy, how has it helped you?
Right. First of all, I want to address that misconception that literature and other aspects of the scene. Literature is the narrative that path forward. It is underpinned by religion, philosophy, astrology, astronomy. Mention it. It has a root in every part of the society. I mean, literature, it powers the world. Ideology drives the world, and that's what I'm studying. So I get to see what people don't see. What is the ideology that drives this field? That's what I'm trying to avoid. So literature has been that space like display expression. And you turn the ordinary into extraordinary by telling the story. You mentioned education. When you turn the ordinary into extraordinary by research, why do people want to cut their hair? What powers it? What's wrong? What can I do better? Why do people want to look this way? What drives it? So you get to see what's beyond the surface. And that's what my journey and my course of study has done for me. I'm so excited that I studied. I never wanted that word, but I'm so excited. It has been taught, not easy. However, you are able to see beyond the ordinary. mean, it's a cycle space. I mean, you get to see what's powering this person's intention, what's powering, why do people want it? So that's what that's done for me. I'm so excited. So I can convince people to get the things that I want through storytelling as well. I mean, it's a world of storytelling. What can you offer? Flip it into story. And I forgot to mention that when you fail to tell your story as a person, people don't perceive your essence. They get to perceive you less, yes. When you own the story and tell it, because it's your story, you went through it. Africa has been misperceived because of people who told our story. Yes, but when you embrace your story and tell it, this is who I am. You can't shake my head behind me. Am I right? So you step into the hole and tell them, this is who I am. This is what we've been through. This is how we can get to it. This is how we can become. And that makes life better. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So let's do this last round. Everyone. 1 minute. 1 minute. Yes. The question is related to the theme of this final discussion, becoming white balancing the unspoken journey of young families. So I'll start with Fatima in 1 minute. What does becoming mean to you personally? And how are you still learning to balance it with this current phase of
All right, becoming is about transformation. It's about mind renewal. It's about facing what you really want. It's about enjoying the journey. Ordinary things become amplified by consistency. So, why becoming with consistency? Stay at it. That's all. Thank you so much.
in 1 minute? Marvelous. What does becoming mean to you personally? How are you still learning to balance it with this current phase of life?
Okay, becoming to me is, it's just like a flower. Like you're trying to blossom rather than grows into it's about going through the process and embracing the journey. Embracing the journey till you become what you want. Till you become what God has for you and have in store for you. Personally, I'm learning to embrace my journey into becoming, and I trust God as I go. Its vision gets better and it gets clearer.
Thank you so much. But then, may I have a minute? 1 minute. What does becoming mean to you personally, and how are you learning to balance it with this current season?
Okay, so we have the medical student, a part of students in medicine and a part student, they are both medical students. But one of them has become more than the other. It's closer to becoming a medical doctor. And the mistake you will make is when you become a medical doctor, some people stop becoming a medical doctor because they have the license. So that's the difference between someone doing internship and a consultant. They are both medical doctors. But one is still becoming. What I've said now is not about medical doctors. But if you get the point, you get it. You don't get it.
Thank you so much. So, this question. In 1 minute, what does becoming mean to you personally? And how are you learning to balance with this current phase?
Okay, thank you so much. So, becoming to me in this current phase of my life is understanding that you can outgrow certain definitions or certain definitions of purpose. At different times, when God gives us a certain purpose, at times we keep letting our initial achievements, people's scope, and hold us back from exploring new levels that God wants to do. So currently, I've actually been learning that at times I have to sit down and reevaluate my purpose and see that my purpose should always be equally engaged and should always give me with the room to explore, the room to access higher levels, higher stages, even when it's important, and even when it requires me to do something I have always not been used to. I'm sorry, just more becoming is not for me now, but also understanding that you can have an idea for the entire staircase But you have to understand that you should focus on each step, not the entire step. So even when you have an idea of where the end of this step is, just focus on the step in front of you, not the entire step. Thank you so much for that. Okay.
So, becoming for me, I'm feeling very difficult and ascending on the ladder of growth. So, document your progress, you evaluate yourself. For example, I was going through my journal or some days ago, and I noticed that once when I assessed myself for the first quarter, most of the thing I wrote down, I've already been done. So you need to reassess your story to listening for me. Reassess those things. Document other things that need to be achieved. And also, while becoming, we are not there yet. So we always have to follow the argument process for those part-time. So at this stage, I know you can't do this stage. What can I do to do? Maybe you even notice that the person made a mistake. With humility, yes, I noticed that something. So that's the same with mistake, not with mistake. And as we grow by you see yourself becoming what you really desire, what you really intend. And I will leave us with this. Winners never lose.
Thank you so much for that. Okay, so and I mean everybody has said a lot about coming. What I'll say is that keep learning. Yeah. Like never stop learning, read books, like always seek to grow. I mean if you look back at where you were some years back and where you are now, it's as a result of your learning. So I can remember when I first started, I mean, I've made so many mistakes, and don't be afraid of like making mistakes. Like they're in this like young people are life. So just learn from these mistakes, and so that you will not make those mistakes again. And also teach others. You can't keep learning and just let others learn from your mistakes. So thank you very much. Thank you. So what she said, just keep learning. You just learn. Thank you so much.
Alright. So, sorry, this is where we bring panel sessions to wrap. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I would really like to appreciate our speakers. Thank you so much for sharing the program of Zendex. We like a lot. I myself I like a lot. That's my personality. And I'm going to apply it to my life. And I hope that you're also going to execute all that you've learned from this session. Congratulations to Speakspirations with the Boys on celebrating 60 months anniversary. Alright. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.
Welcome there.
In commemoration of celebrating 6 months anniversary, I would like to present this to Precious Okanuben and appreciate you for your invaluable insights as a guest speaker during the 6 months anniversary of Speakspirations. Thank you so much.
Hi, thank you.
Wow.